Hello everyone, welcome to my flat and the view of South Kensington, Central London. I'm in a pretty nice place and it's my first day here, so you can see it's about like 3 or 4 p.m. so the sky's actually getting darker. So we're on the parkway now, headed to JFK, and as you can see there's this nice blanket of snow that has just covered the ground. Surprisingly, a really nice drive to the airport, which there was no traffic, and I truly thank God for that. So we are getting off the bridge now, and as you can see, I kind of muted the audio to avoid the copyright claims from the music that we're playing in the car. So we're now arriving at Terminal 7 JFK. You can see right there is the air traffic control tower. Now, Terminal 7 is actually one of the only terminals, I think the only terminal in the US that's owned by a foreign company, and that is British Airways. And it's also home to other airlines, like Alaska Air, and the airline that will take me to the UK today, which is Iceland Air. I guess surprisingly, you may be wondering why it's not, British Airways, but in fact, this airline was cheap. It was only about $450, so it'll actually be in a stopover in Reykjavik Airport, the capital of Iceland. We are now boarding one of 4 of Iceland Air's 767, and this one is named Elja, which is a 1,000-year-old volcano in Iceland. If you're curious as to see what I'm doing right now on my phone, I'm checking if we will see the Aurora Borealis tonight. And it looks like we are. But by the time it gets there, will it still be there? I don't know. Let's hope for the best. And just about now, you can hear the engines spoil up on our aircraft as we have pushed back and are ready for departure. And there, as you can see, is the aircraft that will actually go to London, a British Airways Boeing 777 that will be leaving right ahead of us. So we're now finally moving to the runway, and this will actually be my first flight across the Atlantic. The previous flights have been across to the Pacific, but this will be my first time going to Europe. So I think what will be really interesting is what are the similarities and differences between the US and the UK. We both speak English, but let's see how smooth it will take me for it to really get used to it or move in. As you can see, we are now on the runway, waiting for clearance from air traffic control, and there's a few planes behind us, and that big plane that you see in the back is Air France, a 777 that will be going to Paris, so across the Atlantic with us tonight. And here I can see in my next clip is our plane's about to take off. Now, I'm not going to talk during this part, so you guys enjoy the engine roar and the brief view over Brooklyn. I tried to get views of Manhattan, but the plane was actually so light that the captain was able to make a sharp left turn right over Long Island Sound to get to Iceland. Really shortly, right after takeoff, the crew went around handing drinks. Now for economy class, you only get drinks complimentary, but there are meals for purchase available. And lights are still on this red-eye flight, which I found kind of surprising. But they will be turned off soon. So as we're cruising north, I constantly look out the window to find any signs of the northern lights. But apparently they haven't. After a quick 6 hours, we land in Reykjavik Airport, which is a really nice airport, really nicely designed. And really quickly, we are now on the plane. We are now boarding to go to the plane to London. And as you can see right there on the right, it's just a plane that I just got off. And we are now going on a second Boeing 767. And this plane will take us right to London in just a bit under 3 hours. And I actually went to nap for a bit. It turns out that there were no lights that night. What a shame. However, I do wake up to this awesome, beautiful sunrise over, I think this was over Northern Ireland. You can see here is a quick snapshot that I quickly glowed up from my seat. So we're now cruising over Ireland with only 45 minutes to go. And as you can see here, I'm trying to focus my camera outside, but instead it keeps focusing on the 3 panes of glass with the frost built up all over the window. And so, if you have realized, I am sitting on the right side of the aircraft. Which, pro tip, if you are flying into London, then you should sit on the right side of the aircraft, the best views of London, as you will soon about to see it. However, today is also quite cloudy. Luckily, we are able to get some views of London from the air. As you can see here, as we are flying right past the Thames River into our final approach, we see the Tower Bridge, one of the unique landmarks in London and attractions. And those white lines, as you can see over there with those trains moving, that is actually the London Bridge rail station. And that tall building, I wasn't sure if you can see it there, that was the Shard. And here we are flying over another part of the Thames, and if you are avid geography geeks, you may realize that that is the London Eye. To the left of it, right across the river from it, is the British Parliament. So, really cool views of London. I was very lucky to be able to catch these shots right before the clouds all covered up. And as you can see there with the green, that is where the Queen resides. That is Buckingham Palace. And we are now heading out of central London in our final descent. That was our last turn, and we are now going into London Heathrow. Yeah, we have safely made it. Thank God. And welcome to London. I didn't take too much clips in the airport because security and customs were kind of a big hassle, but nothing too major. We are now out of the airport and finally came into Europe. So now I'm trying to, in this clip, I'm trying to find where the actual train station is in Heathrow that will take me to the London Paddington, where I will then catch a taxi to the Crofton, where is one of the residences. And the train you can see leaving is the actually London Express, the high-speed rail, which I'm not going. Instead, I'm going on this rail, Class 320. Some people call it the Purple Line, the Crossrail, but the people in the airport just call it TFL, which stands for Transit for London. And there's actually free Wi-Fi on this train, which is really convenient for me to tell home that I did land, because I didn't have my SIM card yet at that time. So mom and dad were both quite relieved after that. And it's now time for me to relax on this half-an-hour trip into London. If you're curious, this cost me about 11 to 12 pounds, which is about 15 US dollars at this time.
The plane. I'm on the train now to Paddington Station. I'm gonna catch a cab, and I'm currently at a ceiling, as you can see, in the train to Paddington. First impressions.
Next station, Ealing Broadway.
It's definitely a lot like the States in some aspects.
Central District and National Rail
They're really kidding when they said it was quite rainy and be gray. Because yeah, that's it. And you guys still drive on the left. As you can see there, it's another train. Everything was very smooth today. And no major issues. I think the customs and security was like snapped. It was all very quick. I mean, the way.
So I'm now actually in my room, and it's a triple room. I'm the first one here, so not bad. There's actually quite a lot of space. You can see there's 2 small desks, 3 bed, and 3 closets, and a really nice bathroom just hidden just behind that wooden wall. And not too shabby of a view of the houses or flats in Kensington. Wraps up my arrival really quickly, trying to get through the trip. So thank you all for coming. And this was really my first run at these type of videos, and please forgive me for any mistakes made. And there will be way more to come in the future with probably better scripting and video editing. So it's a good first run. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next week.